I'm in Thailand now, in Chiang Mai.
What do you do there?
I am studying in English education.
Oh, wow.
So you
Yeah,
to become an English teacher?
maybe I don't
Maybe you
know.
don't know.
As the first question is like if I want to study like higher education, like master degree, so like should I take like a TOEFL exam, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what score like how many scores should I get for to apply for the university there?
Uh, it varies by each university, actually. There's not a universal number. And actually, a lot of universities will admit students who don't have the TOEFL score that they'd like them to have, and they'll let them do what's called conditional admissions. So they'll come and start the program and do an English course through the university to get their TOEFL score up to the level that they need it to be. So, for example, a friend of mine, Dan from China, she just started a graduate program at GW,
At George
George
Washington.
Washington University. Sorry. And so she was over the TOEFL requirement that she needed to get. I believe it was 26, but I'm not positive about that. But some of her friends in the program hadn't quite hit the mark, so they were going to a summer program to do some English intensive studies and get their level up to where it needed to be before they started the program in the fall.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And so like what's university like which is famous for education?
What's that?
Well, I mean, there are. It depends what kind of education you're talking about. I mean, you said you want to be an English educator, so you would be looking at schools that have really good, English as a foreign language program, TESOL or TESOL. They have different names, which is really hard to say. Which. I think it's going to require some research. The State Department has Education USA advising centers around the world, and I don't know if there might be one in Bangkok. I don't know,
Yeah.
or there was
Almost certainly.
probably one educational advisor in Bangkok. Who you could also go on the Education USA website, and you might be able to get some information. But they can help you. Narrow down your choices of schools because some schools might have a strength in a particular kind of education, others in different programs. So there's no easy answer.
Yeah, but there are websites. So Education USA is a really good resource. Their website is educationusa.info. But there are a couple of other websites that they probably will direct you to also. So Kaplan and Princeton Review, I think College Confidential, they have search engines that you can use to look through schools depending on various criteria. So you could put in, I'm looking for a school that has a really strong education department and is located in a city and costs under such and such amount, and it can help narrow down a list for you of universities that match your criteria. So that might be helpful for you as well.
And and you want to make sure that you're looking at accredited schools. Would you think that'd be a good piece of advice?
I think probably those websites will only
Right.
direct her to accredited
The
universities.
schools that have been accredited by respected organizations that accredit them. So then you'd be able to transfer your credits to other schools. That's basically the
Yeah.
important thing. Do you have another question?
Actually, before, one other thing that I'm thinking about, because you're interested in potentially teaching language, if you get some professional experience as a teacher, there's a Fulbright program that is specifically for teachers of.
I know. Fulbright program.
Yeah.
like a scholarship.
Yeah. So they have
yeah.
they have a scholarship that is specifically for foreign language teachers. My friend Paula was here on it this year. So if you get a little bit of professional experience first, that might be something that would be really great to look into. She got fully sponsored to go to Susquehanna University in Pennsylvania and study there and teach undergraduates there. So that's a really Fulbright, I think it's Fulbright FLTA, Foreign Language Teacher something. Fulbright FLTA.
Yeah.
Currently, I'm working with one of the projects of U.S. Embassy here in Kabul as a communication and reporting advisor.
Okay.
Actually, I'm seeking for admission to any good university in the U.S. To get my master's degree in the field of mass communication and public affairs.
Okay. Yeah, I mean there are a lot of mass communication, journalism, media programs around the country. Jess, do you have any suggestions of
programs to look into?
or how we can research good programs?
Have you started looking at programs yet, or are you right at the beginning of thinking about where you might want to go?
Actually, I'm just at the beginning searching for good universities, but I have taken a TOEFL exam, and I have a score of 553.
Okay.
PBT.
Great.
So I think that
probably you'll be required, once you get to the point of applying for admission, you'll probably have to take the GRE exam as well, which is kind of a general, I don't know how to describe it, like a general knowledge kind of exam that a lot of universities require, just to sort of show your readiness to do graduate level education. But yeah, like Avi said, there are a lot of programs for communications in particular in the U.S. And probably I would suggest that maybe the place to start is to think about what area of the country you might want to be in, because the opportunities can be really different depending on parts of the country. So we're here in Washington, D.C., and if you did communications here, it might be focused a little bit more on political communications and policy-oriented types of things, versus, if you were in New York, it might be a little more journalism-focused, more media-based. So that might be a place to start narrowing down, because what you're going to find is that there's so many programs that it almost feels overwhelming, the number of choices. So you have to start thinking about ways to narrow it down. And even, I don't know if you've talked to Education USA in Afghanistan yet. They have some really good advisors who can help you look into whether there are any specific scholarship programs for Afghan students. Because if there are schools that have specific fellowships or scholarships that you might be eligible for, obviously that would be a really good route to go as well.
And you can also look at like public affairs programs too. Those bring in some public policy and politics and international affairs. In addition to taking courses on basic communications or journalism or new media. There are a lot of options for different programs.
All right. Actually, sir, I'm looking for. I have not decided. Ma'am explained very well about to narrowing it down to specific field, but I have experience in the field of business communication. I have worked with marketing.
Oh, sure.
I've worked, and I have done a lot of marketing campaigns, marketing communications, like working closely with the media, writing press releases, and conducting press conferences. So I think I'll be thinking of business communication, and I will also contact here the U.S. Education Advisory Services that we have here. So I'll contact them. And what do you think about the fees and tuition fees of the master degree there?
I mean, they're high. You know, we can't we can't lie to you. It's expensive to get an education here. But you know, there are definitely scholarship programs that you can apply to. There's financial aid available from some universities. And that's something that Education USA can help you, because they'll be familiar with the opportunities specifically for people from Afghanistan. So they'll be able to point you a little bit more directly towards what you might be eligible for. But certainly, you know, university here is expensive. If you don't have financial aid to cover it, it's prohibitively expensive.
And you might be able to look for maybe scholarships through a group like I think there's, is it IABC, the International Association of Business Communicators, or I know there are professional groups for business communicators. You could find them on the internet that might have maybe programs to help students who are want to get an actual degree in that profession.
Yeah, I think actually the fact that you want to do business communications probably works in your favor, because you can look for organizations that want to sponsor students to be in that field. And I think even there are some companies that will do that. If you go to the Fulbright website, they have a search engine that will let you look through scholarship opportunities that are available for various types of students. So you might take a look at that and see if there are any that are specifically for business communications or for students from Afghanistan, and get a sense of who might be willing to sponsor you to come.
Mohammed, thank you so much for calling. Good luck. Good luck in your search.
You, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.